Hi, I'm Tracey L Fisher, a reentry point of view, unapologetic. I'm here to actually inform everyone that understands reentry or would like to understand reentry or prison reform. This week, I just found out that Gateway to Reentry, which is my organization, has now become a member of the Pennsylvania Commerce of Chambers. Also, I myself has just became the first returning citizen ever to become a registered lobbyist for prison reform. That means I can legally, literally go to Washington, D.C., City Hall, or Harrisburg, or anywhere else in the world and lobby on the behalf of prison reform. A lot of laws has been made of people lobbying on our behalf, but never ever experience being incarcerated themselves. So we had people at the table representing us, but really didn't understand the ingredients that went into the meal. So now you have a person at the table. Not only do we understand the ingredients that goes into the meal, we are the ingredients and we the chef. So we sitting at the table right now where we're going to determine how it's delivered, how it's divvied up, and how it's spread it out, and how it's going to be served. And that is a honor to be able to sit here and say to people, won't God do it? I am so happy and so excited about that. But getting back to prison reform. Here's what people don't understand about prison reform. You have to understand the mentality of the individuals before they even get incarcerated. Before you have to do a lot of investigation. Then you have to understand the mentality of the individual while they're incarcerated. And then you have to understand the mentality of the individuals once they come home from being incarcerated. So let's start with the mentality of the individual before he or she is incarcerated. Whether you white, black, man, don't matter. The mentality of that individual starts in the household. How they was up, how they was raised, their spirituality, and everything else that goes into play with that. Then you have to understand what makes that person tick. What makes that person think it's okay to commit crimes? It's okay to go against their upbringing, because I'm quite sure most of the people that was incarcerated was not raised to be a thief, to be a liar, a drug dealer, a murderer, and whatever else gets you incarcerated. I'm quite sure of that. So we go astray somewhere in our life, in our youth, in our young age. Like, let's use me for example. My mother and father didn't raise me to sell no drugs or carry any guns. But yet, that's what I went to jail for. And I had a beautiful childhood growing up. Beautiful childhood. I didn't even know we was poor, because my mother and father made sure we had everything. Now that I'm older and I understand, they struggled to make sure we got everything we wanted. They struggled to make sure of that, but they did it. They did their job. So when I went to jail and I got incarcerated, I went against my whole upbringing. Everything they taught me, I went against. But now I understand that was God's calling, because I needed to understand what it was like to actually be inside there, to be part of a incarceration of environment, so I can come home and literally speak out on that and get people to understand and believe in what I'm saying to them, because I lived it. Because I lived it. When I came outside and I came off the steps, as we would say, I always was a leader. I never was a follower. For some reason, I just had to be a leader. So when I came off the steps and I seen the older guys hustling and doing their stuff, I wanted to be a part of that. So what I did was I hung around the older guys, and they saw that I had control of the younger guys, which was my age. So they did everything through me. They did everything through me, because I was able to control the younger guys, and the older guys was able to control me. So that's how our neighborhood was. So they was hustling, then I started hustling, then they started hustling for me, the younger guys. So that's how that came about. But I didn't have to hustle, because every day I had a meal on the table, 3 square meals, running water, electricity, heat, air conditioning, you name it. We had central air, central heat. So why would I even go out and hustle? That's because I came outside and I got caught up in peer pressure, because I saw somebody else doing it. So I feel as though that's the way it is in life. Just like take the youth right now that's out here rioting and stuff. All them guys and girls that's out here riding, they not out here doing it on their own. Like, okay, let's go ride. They out here and they saw other people doing it and they joined in. That's how easy it is to get a sentence. That's how easy. Now look how the guys they caught coming out the stores with their hoodies on and stuff with a few items under their arm. Now, even if they didn't have a record, they have one now. They're gonna have riding, looting, breaking and entry. That's a serious charge. That's a serious charge. All because the officers killed a young black man. Now, what does that have to do with breaking in a store and stealing some sneakers, or breaking into a pharmacy, right? Stealing whatever you steal out of there. And after all said and done, everything done calmed down, right? The pharmacy is closed. Your mom, your grandparents and them can't even get their medication now. The grocery store is closed. The only one in the community. Now where we gonna go to get our groceries at? This is crazy. And this is the second time within 6-7 months that this done happened. And our community is going down and down and down because the lack of leadership. The lack of leadership. And you know what's real crazy? It was over 1,000+ people that did not have a criminal record before Mr. Wallace got shot. After Mr. Wallace got shot, when the smoke cleared, you had over 1,000 people that was registered in the database, fingerprinted and everything. How could that be? How intelligent is that? How intelligent is that? This is what we have going on in our community. Lack of leadership. I ain't just talking about politicians. I ain't just talking about religious leaders. I ain't just talking about activism. I'm talking about everyone plays a part in this, in your household, because everybody that was out there breaking the law came out of somebody's household. Everybody. It wasn't, so what I'm saying is this: you have to take care of your household first. So I'm making a call out to all the parents, grandparents, and legal guardians. You have children, youths in your house that's out there that was riding and stuff, right? You have a duty to them, to be on top of them, to guide them, and to give them an understanding of what it takes to be part of a village and a community, so that we can move forward and be productive. Because there's too many murders going on, not just with the cops. Because let's say out of a whole year, right, you might get 3 or 4 cop shootings killing a black man, which is bad. That's too many. That's one too many. Trust me. But you have 400 murders in the city of Philadelphia. All 400 murders wasn't done by no cop. And let me tell you about a person that got shot before. I can care less if it was from a cop or a black man or a green man or whatever. I don't want to get shot. A bullet hurts. A bullet hurts. If you're going to be outraged about somebody being murdered, then be outraged by whomever pulled the trigger. Whomever pulled the trigger. Don't make it okay and not be outraged because a black man killed a black man. And that's what y'all need to understand. I'm Tracey L Fisher. This is a reentry point of view, unapologetic.